Hello and welcome to the newspaper review here on TAF TV. Yes, this is where we get to discuss and analyze trending and catchy headlines every day. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today. And we are at the streets of Port Harcourt like we've been doing to get to see the reactions of people on the street. Let's get to hear what they have to say as regards the headlines making rounds on the papers. You can also be a part of the show. Do well to subscribe, turn on the notification button, connect with us across all our social media platforms so that when we drop videos like this, you get to receive our notifications. And yes, it's a cold morning today. We've been praying, we've been battling with heat, and we've been praying for rainfall, and God heed our cry. Enjoy the weather. Well, before we get to see reactions of people on the streets, let's look into the stories and see what the stories look like. We'll be looking at the Punch newspaper for a start. We see as headline says, Senate rejects electricity tariff hike, probes 2 trillion naira subsidy. Details of this story is found on page 24. 5th anniversary, Punch holds exhibition to showcase iconic photos. Details is found on page 19. Bank sells $172 million as CBN, EFCC battles currency speculators. Details is found on page 23. We could see at the main story here, it says TUC, NLC splits as DSS won Labour against planned protests. Sub-story under that reads, NLC took protest decision unilaterally. TUC alleged vow to stay away from demonstration. Ajero accuses DSS of blackmail. Agency warns Labour against plot to destabilize nation. Details of the story is found on page 2. Motorists groan as fuel scarcity hits Lagos hard. We see a picture of the vehicles and gallons in fuel station where they queue to buy petrol. Still on the newspapers, we could see as headline says, Edo APC welcome rerun after controversial governor primary. Details is found on page 16. Ebonyi, wife pushes husband to death from 2-story building. A very sad one. Details is found on page 4 and 5. Shaibu, Igodalo, others battle for 563 Edo PDP delegates votes. Details is found on page 18. And that's all we're taking on the Punch newspaper. And moving on, we'll be looking at the Nation's newspaper. We can see as headline says, on Senate opposes plan to remove electricity subsidy. Details is found on page 28. Edo 2024, APC to conclude primary. President not for zoning. PDP OK street guidelines. Justify exclusion of 381. Details of the story is found on page 31. 12 million more Nigerians to get direct cash transfer. Details is found on page 4. Aburo held for attempted murder, firearm possession. Details is found on page 28. Diri holds valedictory sessions for EXCO members. Details is found on page 6. Give Tinubu more time. Gowon pleads with Nigerians. Sub-story under that reads, ECOWAS should lift suspension on Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso. Details of this story is found on page 2. NLC rejects DSS warning to shelve planned protests. Sub-stories under that reads, secret police, hoodlum likely to hijack march. TUC disowns Ajero's unilateral move. Details is found on page 2. Oberevary backs local government autonomy. Details is found on page 6. Enjoy youth to federal government. Relocate IOC's headquarters to Niger Delta. Details is found on page 2. And that's all we'll be taking on the Nation's newspaper. And lastly, we'll be looking at the New Telegraph newspaper. We can see as headline here reads, federal government to expand direct cash transfer to 12 million Nigerians. Details of the story is found on page 3. Report, Nigeria records extra 10% contribution to global oil demand. Details of the story is found on page 8. You can see how the main story here reads, power, halt proposed increase in electricity tariff, subsidy remover. Senate tells federal government. Sub-stories under that reads, moves to probe 2 trillion naira subsidy, 1.3 trillion naira. $1.3 billion debt. Electricity consumers build 134.5 billion naira amid darkness. Current poor services caused by low allocation from grid. Provide light or leave southeast. IPOB tells EEDC. Details of this story is found on page 3, 8, and 30 of the New Telegraph newspaper. You can see a very sad story here. It says, bandits kills over 34, kidnap 53, injure 18 in Benue. Zamfara, burn over 500 houses. Others. Details of the story is found on page 6, 7, and 28. Edo Guba, why APC NWC cancelled results. Tinubu is against zoning, says Oshomole. Details is found on page 5 and page 26 of the New Telegraph newspaper. State police, weak policing caused by corruption, poor training, other vices, says San. Details is found on page 4. DSS to Labour, shelve planned protest in the interest of peace. Details of the story is found on page 2, 4 and 26. Hardship, Senate grills CBN MPC's nominees on way out of Forex, food crisis. Sub-story under that reads, Reps want federal government, states to expedite actions on palliatives, kick against hike in law school fees. Details is found on page 2 and 5. Reducing meat consumption might prevent snoring. Details is found on page 26. And that's all be taken on the New Telegraph newspaper. Now let's get to see the reactions of people on the street. Let's get to hear what they have to say as regards these headlines on the papers. All right, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I like your thoughts on the Nation's newspaper that says, give Tinubu more time. Gowon pleads with Nigerians.
All right, no problem. Gowon is a very senior and elder statesman, a one-time head of state who, within his period, was the Nigerian Civil War fought and there was no victor, no vanquished. So Gowon himself is an elder statesman who knew the foundation of Nigeria. Gowon himself knew by his age, while he was a tender head of state, if Nigeria was what it is today, if he could have been able to rule properly. Now, Gowon knew that Nigerian foundation, as after the war and today, cannot be compared. As a man from Plateau State, a Nigerian, a farmer, who knew the intricacies, the political indices of Nigeria. Now, what is he pleading for? That we should give Tinubu time. Tinubu, a politician. 1999 is a governor. Till today, he has produced Osibanjo, he produced Fashola. He is a political guru. He gave his seat, his political avenue to Buhari to excel as president. So Tinubu knew the Nigerian politics better than Gowon is. Gowon is a military head of state, but in politics, Tinubu is a cartel. But if we had to plead with Tinubu, what has led to Tinubu thinking in May 29 to have said that we should fuel subsidy is gone when he had no preparation for fuel subsidy? Why did Tinubu make mention of closing the borders for local investors to strive, even though it was not his idea and Buhari ideas, and he came in to carry out that plan? We thought, as Tinubu, a Lagos boy, a city boy, who had excelled as a governor, that Tinubu would have done well because he's a rich man, he's not a poor man. Tinubu himself, as a Lagos boy, a city boy, a man, an expert in politics, who had produced governors, Fashola, Ambode, and the rest. He produced Osibanjo. He is a guru in the business. He is the political leader of APC, undoubtedly APC leader that Buhari worked under. In short, he gave Buhari a platform to work on as APC presidential candidate in Rivers State when he started, when Rotimi Amici hosted them. And Buhari have finished his tenure. What has happened? Why must we give him time? What is happening to time? Look, Nigerians will die or will almost die if by May 29, making 1 year, Tinubu did not do anything reasonable. Our borders are closed, open our borders for food to enter. Open our borders for other goods to enter. Our local farmers have failed us because of insecurity. They cannot harvest, they cannot plant. Please, killing them from Benue and every other place. Open our border. Do things you do as a father to save us. You don't need time. You don't need time. No time should be given to you. Otherwise, you govern a country without followers.
But now, with the look of things of how the economy is, do you think there's hope for Nigeria in a few months to come?
There's no hope. Our refineries are not working. I want to be blunt. Me, a personal opinion, I am not seeing hope. Our refineries are blocked. Dangote is importing crude. We want to open border to import cement. What? In short, the local consumers are dying. Rice bag is high. Cement is high. Where will this hope come from if Tinubu did not give us hope? Tinubu, in your 1 year anniversary in May 29, change subsidy is gone to subsidy has come, and give us reason to live again. You are our God we are seeing here. There's a God in heaven, but after God is government, and you are the government, the God in government. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, good morning.
Morning.
I like your thoughts on the nation's paper. It says, give Tinubu more time. Gowon pleads with Nigeria.
I think it is highly necessary for us to give him a long time, because first and foremost, my name is Daimaya Makelia. And thank you. And before this time, Nigeria have been a nation that has gone somehow that to rectify the situation is something else. So what we are saying in a nutshell is that our leader, His Excellency Ahmed Tinubu, entered recently. We should give him a little time, more time, to see what will be best, because of the way he ruled Lagos State. I'm believing that he will do more better. He will do well.
He increase the GDP of Lagos State.
Okay, he will do well. I'm telling you, Tinubu is somebody I so believe that he will do well. So I know quite well that there are a lot of other candidates that contested with him that are also keen to see how Nigeria will survive. But since Tinubu have entered already, it's good for us to give him more time for him to perform. And not only saying of Tinubu, those who are in the banking sector, those who are in various industries, they should also perform well, credibly. I'm talking of sincerity, so that Nigeria can move forward. The market women, the sellers, this and that, the dealers of various businesses, they should also try their best to see how Nigeria will be. Not for them to skyrocket the prices of things. Tomorrow they say Tinubu, calling president. Why they want they could be able to perform or do, they fail to do it. I think let's see how, believing that a little time things will go well in this country. Thank you very much.
Now, with the look of things, how the country is at the moment, do you think there's hope for Nigerians, and how long do you think we can wait for the hope to come?
Various countries have passed a lot of hurdles.
Even worse than this.
Worse than this, and they have survived today. For example, the Ghanaians were in Nigeria. I know sometimes we have a bad they call Ghana must go.
Exactly.
And at the end, when Jerry Rawlings came to power, he see to it that Ghana became a very decent. So we are believing along the line things will go well. We should not kill ourselves. The suffering have mastered us, but along the line, in due time, the petroleum product and all those things will come down drastically.
Now let's look at the plans and the pattern that Tinubu is treading. Let's look at what he has been, the decision he has been making all this while. Do you think it's the right one? Like, you think he's making right plans, seeing how the country got harder?
I think all the president that rule the country, they have their motive, they have the good plan. Yes, to see how Nigeria, our country must be a good. Tinubu does not just enter there because he went to rule. When we discover how he ruled Lagos State and coming up again to rule the country, Tinubu will do well. I'm telling us, Tinubu will do well. So he has a master plan for the country. Forget about what formerly when he was coming up, they said Tinubu cannot do anything. I'm telling you, in a real fact that Tinubu has a master plan for the country. I'm telling you.
With what you've observed.
Yes, to what I have observed so far, Tinubu will do well.
He's a master strategist.
Yes, exactly.
Even Gowon, that is even begging Nigerians to give Tinubu more time, knows in his mind that Tinubu plays this politics more than him. Gowon was the head of state, while Tinubu has been governor and he has ruled different areas.
Yes, I think what is there is that I have earlier said nobody coming to rule the nation that does not have plan. Exactly. Not only to say it's my turn, they have plans for the survival of the masses. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, you heard what has been discussed here. If you have a counter opinion, you have anything to add to it, please slide to our comment section and drop your comments. Subscribe to our channel if you are yet to subscribe. Follow us across all our social media platforms so you receive our notifications. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and this has been the newspaper review here on TAF TV. See you next time.